entering his third year there at Peachtree Ridge.
Yeah. McLaughlin's he's an absolute beast, and I don't know how South Forsyth's football schedule is going to work out, if they're going to make it into the playoffs or not. And obviously, we love to see him there. If not, I mean, everybody will hear about that kid all year around in the state. They got another kid, Ethan Underwood, who was all region last year. He can shoot the lights out for South Forsyth, and Coach Givens and Diggs. I tell you what, Coach Diggs at Peachtree Ridge, there's no doubt about it. His squad's gonna be ready to go and play some relentless defense. There's no doubt about that.
So that is session 1, game number 1, South Forsyth and Peachtree Ridge, and that is on Saturday, November the 21st. Continuing on in session 1, game 2 in session 1, what do you have for us, Coach Garner?
Yeah, so session 1, game 2 of the event this year, we have Berkmar taking on Parkview.
Now, are we allowed to call this the Battle of the Green Flag? I know they do that in football, and it's a Lilburn thing. I don't know if you're allowed to use that one, but good matchup here, good player. Greg Phillips always going to have his team ready. Coach Collins, they're on an upturn. What is exciting to you about this matchup?
I tell you what, this is a little backstory here. Well, one of the things that's exciting to me is Coach Phillips is his top assistant is Matt Welch, one of my boys from North Gwinnett, and him and Coach Collins grew up playing against each other and butting heads against each other all through when we were younger back in the day. But anyways, no, besides that, I mean, there's great talent at Berkmar. There's no doubt about that. They got some great talent inside and on the perimeter. And then it's always fun to watch Parkview's guards go, especially Jason Edwards, man. That kid's an absolute bucket. And so be interested to see how he takes on the size of Berkmar, but it should be a good matchup.
It should be. Edwards close to 20 points per game. How will he attack the paint and the size? And Coach Phillips has a loaded schedule and getting off with a good start with his Lilburn rivals there for I'm going to still call it the Battle of the Green Flag until they tell me I cannot. Continuing on, now we'll move into now what is considered session 2. It still will be on Saturday, November the 21st. Next matchup, this is a good one as well, Coach.
Yeah, so session 2, game 1 of session 2, we have Archer taking on Walnut Grove.
Archer and Walnut Grove. I'll start on the Walnut Grove side. Missed the playoffs last year with that region loss. Coach Witherspoon in his first year, but they've made some moves. Got Cam Lee coming back, John Mark, a noted shooter, and DeMyron Williams coming over now. I like what they've got. Coach LeCurve, we know how Coach LeCurve coaches, and he loves this event. If I'm not mistaken, they've played in just about every Jared Cook Tip-Off Classic. Is that correct?
Yeah, they have. I mean, Joel's my guy. I mean, obviously, Joel's a North Gwinnett dude, and he was doing the point guard thing in North Gwinnett before I even got there, and so we go way back, and so there's no way I'm keeping him out of the event. And he's so much fun to watch, and I tell you what, he's not fun to do. He's not fun to play against. There's no doubt about that. The way his teams play, and he's got Carter come back. He's got to be one of the best on-ball defenders in the state of Georgia. I mean, he is so tough. But Coach Spoon's got some things working at Walnut Grove. They had they lost some great senior talent, but like you mentioned, Cam Lee, man, coming back, he's tough, and he gave them lots of scoring ability last year.
Yeah, and I just think Spoon, of course, he's a Berkmar native and won a state championship. I just think that the ceiling is so high, and Walnut Grove can really flourish after the disappointment of last year. It'll be good to see how they bounce back. So that is set to game number 2 in session 2. I think you're going to have a little bit to do with, right?
Yeah. So game number 2 in session 2 will be us North Gwinnett Bulldogs taking on Shiloh Generals.
And Shiloh, of course, with Kim Rivers, we know he's always going to have a team. Lost a couple of players, and he's always going to compete. They've got a very tough schedule. But we'll talk about what you did in your quarterfinal run last year. Brendan Rigsby, RJ Godfrey, I got to see him again over the summer. It seems like they're primed and ready under you to make a good run and with a good start playing a Shiloh General team.
Yeah, they are. And, there are 2 leading guys coming back from our starting lineup, but we got some other guys. Thomas Allard has hit the scene recently with his shooting ability, and we got a strong senior core coming back with Luke Keller and Josh Miles and Armand Poyen, and so we're excited. I mean, the fact of the matter is, we want to schedule teams that are going to give us good looks early on in the season. It's tough to play 3 games in 4 days. It's a struggle, but we want good looks. And I don't think that Kim Rivers has ever had a bad team at Shiloh, and so he might have some guys out in football or whatnot. Who knows? But there's no way they're going to show up and be any sort of a cakewalk. They're going to be tough. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I look forward to Jordan Mitchell and RJ Godfrey banging down there. That'll be a big
Yes, absolutely.
matchup down in the post. So there it is. That's Saturday, November the 21st, session 1, South Forsyth and Peachtree Ridge, Berkmar and Parkview. Session 2, it will be Archer and Walnut Grove, and North Gwinnett and Shiloh. And again, we'll explain the sessions when we move on. So we'll take that break on Sunday. We'll come back on Monday, November the 23rd, and we'll pick up with session 3. And the opening matchup in session 3 on that Monday is?
Yeah, that opening matchup, session three is our biggest session of the whole entire event. There's 3 games in it, and the first game of that session is Mount Pisgah taking on South Forsyth.
So we'll get to see South Forsyth again for the second time. Of course, we mentioned Underwood and McLaughlin, but on the other side, Mount Pisgah, JoJo Peterson. I got to see him a lot over the summer, kind of totes the mail for this Mount Pisgah squad.
Yeah, he's tough. I mean, all-state selection. I think that they got some good guard play. I say good. They have great guard play, and they're going to be very competitive in their classification this year. And South Forsyth, they just play good basketball, and they got tons of returning. So even if McLaughlin's not there, and because of football reasons, I still think it's going to be a great matchup between those 2 programs.
Well, I was at an event in September, and he wasn't there on Friday because of football, but he was there on Saturday. So
yeah,
I'm not going to put anything past McLaughlin. And Mount Pisgah, of course, you mentioned their classification. 1A private is their classification. So that tips off game number 1 in session 3. Moving on, we have the second game in session number 3. What do you have?
So second game in session 3, we have Archer coming back for their second game playing Lambert.
Archer we'll see again taking on Lambert, and we know how Bracco does. I like what they've got top to bottom. They're a scrappy bunch with Paul Laguana leading the way for them, along with Nico Wilson, who I think may get some more minutes. And then we talked about Archer, so this is a good matchup as well. And Lambert again making a return trip to the Derek Cook Tip-Off Classic. Yeah,
it's one of those things. I think Bracco and I keep going back and forth. Now we're playing in their event again this year, and I think they literally played in the Monday slot at the Jared Cook for a couple of years now. I'm excited about this matchup. Selfishly, I think very highly of both these coaches, and the way Bracco pushes his offense, and then the way LeCurve has his defense picking up the way they do. This is going to be, it's going to be a fun early season matchup for sure.
It is. It's going to be a hard hat lunch pail, grimy game, defensive, scrappy. So whoever comes out there with the least bruises probably is going to come out as the victor.
Yeah, should be a fun one, though, for sure.
And then the final game there in session 3, again, we're on Monday, November the 23rd. The final game, what do you got?
Final game is session 3 on Monday. We got South Cobb taking on Peachtree Ridge, a.k.a. the Blue School in Swanee.
There you go. The Blue School is back. And then you got South Cobb coming in under head coach Greg Moultrie, of course, a finalist last year, Final Four last year. Travis Burr is the lead guard, playing really good. He's got a pair of twins over there, Lecky, but I like Daquan Riggins. This will be a pretty good matchup, and good to see you got South Cobb in there.
Yeah, we reached out to Coach Moultrie early on in the spring, and he's got a heck of a program going on, and so I think this will be a great matchup. Both teams got some dogs on both sides that will get up and down the court, and so should be another good early season matchup for sure.
And another thing with South Cobb, before the game, now make sure you check the rims. They have some leapers and some dunkers, so we don't need any broken rims. We don't have to move it to the Ox Gym because they really can get up and fly high. So that is the end of session 3 there on Monday the 23rd. We move over to session 4 now, and our opening game there, a nice one. 2 new teams to the Derek Cook Tip-Off Classic.
Yeah, we do have 2 new teams. We got in first game of session 4 on that Monday. We have Denmark taking on Cherokee.
Denmark and Cherokee. Coach Whitlock, man, doing a good job with that upstart program. And Cherokee now, listen, they went out in the first round last year to a tough Westlake team, but they've added Ethan Picken, who just came in. They've got Owens. They've got Elijah Tucker. And then the point guard play of Denmark, Sutton Smith, is going to be very, very interesting to see. And they've got a big man playing well, too. So this is going to be an interesting matchup coaching-wise with the veteran from Cherokee and Whitlock with his experience as well.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited to have both these programs in, and I think Denmark, obviously a brand new school and up and coming, but they've already, I mean, for being a brand new school, they already have a talent-rich program. And Cherokee, I mean, they might have one of the most lethal dynamic duos in the state of Georgia this year, and even the Southeast. And so I think it'll be a great early season matchup, like you mentioned. You got the big guy Scott for Denmark and Sutton Smith, who's playing with looks like he's gonna be playing my boy Briggs over at UAH in next season. And so I'm excited to watch them play against that duo that you mentioned at Cherokee. Should be a tough matchup.
So that is game number 1 there in session 4. And then the final game in session 4.
The final game in session 4, we have North Gwinnett taking on Newton.
North Gwinnett and Newton. Now, Coach Gibbons in his second year, we know all about your squad. T.J. Clark, Ja'Kai Newton, Quay Brown, and a hungry Newton Ram bunch. I mean, you're going to have fun having your hands filled with this one.
So the deal with them, man, I tell you what, watching that region last year with them and Archer and Grayson, I mean, and Shiloh, it was an absolute dogfight. And the fact that there had to be a 3 seed or a 4 seed in that region is ridiculous. And you saw what they did once they got into the state tournament. They got some, I know they lost the lead guard, but they have some absolute dogs. TJ Clark played this offseason with RJ Godfrey for the Express, and so I got to watch him a good bit. And so, we want to be challenged early on in the season, like I mentioned, and I think this is a good fit, and I'm looking forward to the matchup for sure.
Yeah, I just hope I know you might have some football players coming back, but Newton's gonna play 12 or 13.
Oh, I know it.
I hope you are ready for that.
Yeah,
so,
and they're gonna eat up all 94 feet of that court too. Yes. I know it.
Yes, they are athletic, very interesting, and for me personally, I can't wait to see you and Gibbons match off. That's going to be very fun. Good to see how you guys do that. All right, so now let's move on. Let's recap session 3: Mount Pisgah, South Forsyth, Archer, Lambert, South Cobb, Peachtree Ridge. That's in session 3 on Monday, November the 23rd. And in session 4, Monday, November the 23rd, it is Denmark, Cherokee, and North Gwinnett, Newton. So now we move on into Tuesday, which is the final day of the Jared Cook Tip-Off Classic, and that'll be November the 24th. We move into session 5. Who gets us started in session 5?
So I will say, obviously, I'm excited about all the talent each day that's coming in, but I'm really, really excited about the last day. We try to usually cap off each week. I say each year's event with the Tough Tuesday, and I think this year's Tuesday lineup stacks up with any lineup we've ever had. And so to kick off that Tuesday in session 5, we got Parkview playing a second game, taking on Denmark, who also is playing a second game in the event.
So Parkview and Denmark, 2 teams we've talked about already. They're going to be tipping off session 5. We'll move now to our next game there on session 5.
Next game there on session 5 is we got 2 other teams coming back for the second games. Is Cherokee taking on Bergmar.
That will be very interesting as well. I love the wing play of both teams, as we've talked about. So we'll see how they match up. And then we get down to the third game there on session number 5, and it'll be 2 teams that are new and playing their first.
2 teams that are familiar to the event, but this is their first game in the event in this lineup, and that's St. Francis taking on Lanier.
St. Francis, led by the Alabama committant Jashawn Holt. They've also got Keith Robbins, who's playing very well. But on the other side, Brendan Mayweather, we know they were runner-up, finished last year in 6A, and they've got Andrew McConnell, who just recently committed to James Madison. This is going to be a very interesting matchup. Again, St. Francis, a 1A private school, and then Lanier, a 6A school, but that out when these 2 coaches get together. Catlett, of course, has been in the event before, and Lanier with Mayweather has been in before as well.
Yeah, I'm really excited about getting both coaches back in there with their programs. The thing is, both teams have elite guards and elite wings that are very, very athletic, and so I'm very interested to see the matchup here. But it should be a great one for sure.
And then to close it out, we move into session 6, which is the smallest session, but it's going to be fun here. Session 6, what do you have?
Yeah, so session 6, we got the North Gwinnett Bulldogs, my squad, taking on Coach Pierce and his Grayson Rams.
Coach Joffrey Pierce and his Grayson Rams and North Gwinnett. So session 6, that's going to be fun, of course. We know all about Grayson, Ian Shefflin, and Tyrese Elliott and Taj Kelly. Of course, those are the headliners. Chad Moody will be coming off of the bench. So you didn't spare any expense in your scheduling. Shiloh, Newton, and Grayson. I like it coming out of the gate strong, which has been your MO in the Jared Cook Tip-Off Classic, Coach Garner.
Yeah, that's just kind of how I've always rolled. I'm not somebody. I'm not saying I'm not chasing wins. We want to win games, but also we want to compete early on and get early on tests. And so there's no better test than taking on a squad like what he's got down there at Grayson. And so I'm a big fan of Pierce and what he's doing and the way he plays and the way he coaches. And so there's no doubt about it. My guys are hungry for it. They're excited about the matchup. Once they knew a team like that was in the event, they were asking about playing some of the best teams. And when I told them they were playing Grayson, they were excited about the matchup for sure. There's no doubt about that.
Excellent. So that is going to be the final game there. Session 6 on Tuesday, November the 24th. We'll start with Session 5, Parkview, Denmark, then followed by Cherokee, Berkmar, and then it is St. Francis, Lanier, and then Session 6, North Gwinnett, and Grayson. As you take a look there is your full field for the Jared Cook Tip-Off Classic beginning on Saturday, September the 21st with Session 1 in South Forsyth and Peachtree Ridge, and then ending on Tuesday, November the 24th, Session 6, North Gwinnett and Grayson. So as we get ready to close here on the 2020 Jared Cook Tip-Off Classic schedule release, let's go back now and revisit. I've said sessions. Coach, kind of break down what went into these sessions.
Yeah, so fact of the matter is we all know what we're dealing with here in 2020 with the COVID pandemic, and we want to be able to create a safe environment for everyone that's coming to the event. And so obviously SUVtv is providing a platform for people to be able to watch online or on their TV screens in their living rooms. And so, but the other thing is with these sessions, it allows us to clear things out, sanitize things, and let new fans come back in. And so for each session, we'll be able to sell a little over 400 tickets. Those will become available first for the teams and then their family. But yeah, we will be limiting the amount of tickets for sure. And so, so that's what you see there. So session 1, we'll have a couple games, then we'll clear everyone out, clean things up. Then we'll have a session 2 and so forth as the event goes on. That's the reason for that.
And the times will be released at a later date, I assume?
Yes, we're hoping to have the times nailed down sometime in the next week or so. A lot of that has to do with different moving pieces, whether it's custodial staffs and security and different things like that. And we're just trying to get it all nailed down. But we hope to be able to announce the exact time sometime in the next week and a half.
Excellent. Well, we know the matchups. That's one step closer to having the event. Now, will there be a shot clock used for the Jared Cook Tip-Off Classic?
So that is TBD, to be determined. We do not know yet. Do we want it? Absolutely. We do want it. My squad's been practicing with it already the first 3 days of tryouts and practice. And so it's something I feel strongly in. I think it's good for the game. There's no doubt about it. There's just some logistical pieces that we got to work out to make sure it happens. If it doesn't happen this year, there's no doubt about it. It's going to happen next year.
Excellent. So there you have it, the explanations of the sessions to go with the COVID protocol, and then, of course, the shot clock to be determined. Whatever needs to happen, let's make that happen. But I like to have fun with that. So there you have it for the 2020 Jared Cook Tip-Off Classic schedule release. And, of course, all of these games will be available here live and on demand on SUVtv. Coach Garner, you got anything else?
No, just looking forward to a great year. You know, what I'm so excited about is I know there's a lot going on in the world right now and it's chaos, but I'm just really excited about all these young men and these student athletes who are going to get an opportunity to represent their schools and on a big stage in front of a lot of people on national I say national television, but nationally televised to a certain extent that people can watch it across the country. And so I'm just really excited that they're going to get this opportunity because I know these kids have been working hard. And so selfishly, I'm ready to get to work with my crew, but I know everyone else that's part of the event is ready to do the same thing. And we're just excited to partner with SUVtv again this year, along with all the other guys. And look.
Excellent. Well, of course, we're glad to be a part of it. I'm glad to be a part of it. And in a little over 3 weeks, we'll be able to get this thing off and rolling. So there you have it, the Jared Cook Tip-Off Classic 2020 schedule release. For North Gwinnett head coach Matt Garner and our entire staff, I'm Joel Hillsman. We'll see you next time right here, the SUVtv.com.